BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. Hi everyone, welcome to 50 Minutes of Experience, and today I'm with Nicolò Montis. I have a pleasure to be with him today because he's one of the photographers I was publishing in the last magazine, Make It Blue. And Nicolò, welcome to this podcast.
Thank you very much.
So you are really welcome here, but before to go really deep inside our conversation and have a lot of laugh, we can just start to introduce a bit yourself, so then you can say something about yourself for people who doesn't know you and they are listening to this podcast.
Perfect. Okay, so my name is Nicolò Montis. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Cagliari, a town in Italy. I've been photographing since 2016, 2017. I generally do street photography and portrait photography, but I also had some experience in event photography. I follow friends and artists, sometimes even in gigs. I did some venues around Europe and around my region, and that's basically what I do. I'm a passionate photographer, an art enthusiast, and yeah, that's basically
more or less what you are. So we can say that you're really expressive in photography, and probably it's the medium represent you in that way. I can feel that you are a bit shy, but we can overcome that. It's just a matter of how we warm up, but I think we can do it that without any problem. So what I like really of your picture is they don't have really a style, they don't even really a gender, they follow the photography like raw meat is there. And what I like especially of your picture is the color. They have a color, so we can use cinematic, but it's too much use of this word, so then I will try to find another synonyms much better.
Agree.
And more than cinematic, I would say they follow a lot the color of Italy in general. They're really Italian in that way. I don't want to offend you. I would be offended if someone tell me something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm
not offended at all.
The only one who would be offended, I think, from that. But I really like the color because, as I said, they represent a lot the color of Italy. Because the color in Italy in general, they reflect the light in the street and the light of the sky and the sea. And what we have in your picture, if someone watch your picture, can so recognize so fast this yellow is going close to the orange, and this blue is going to this dark of the sea. And I can feel in a way like your color respect a lot the situation of my hometown in Naples. I feel them are really in a way they respect this magic, and I wanted to know really what drive you to go out and taking picture and shooting and accumulated all of these stories, these frames of the city.
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your appreciation. And yes, I don't really know exactly why blue is the main color of my picture. Let's say, I gotta say a banal answer, like blue is one of my favorite colors. It's always been one of my favorite colors. And I generally associate blue with darkness. I try to give my personal perspective, my personal imagination is applied to that. I don't want to say something like dark. Maybe yes, because I used to go out and shooting during the blue hour or in nighttime or even in downtime, which means the first hours in the morning. I've always been interested in, darkness, but sort of, how can I say, the kind of melancholic vibe has always been something that really caught my attention.
I would say more than melancholic. What I was passing in my mind watching your picture was this, this moment in the movie between the two main scene. There are this soundtrack, and you can see some frames of the city or the people. They transport me there in this moment. So it's kind of your picture as a soundtrack.
Well, it actually is. First of all, because music in general plays a big part in my creation process. I'm a very, very big music nerd, let's say. In my life, I always try to expand my musical knowledge as much as I can. I always listen to music while I work, while I edit pictures. And I always try to be transported by it. And I always like, in general, kind of dark music.
What is the music you listen? What music you listen in general?
In general, let's say as I said before, I always try to expand my musical knowledge as much as I can. I grew up into bands like Linkin Park, or Metallica. Black Album is one of my masterpieces in music in general.
That sound interesting, because I will never imagine that Metallica is the music is writing the picture you shoot. This is so funny in a way. I'm starting to imagine Metallica watching the picture of the. Now I have in front of me this woman watching the phone from your pictures, and I feel like, okay. I mean, it's weird. I mean, my feeling is weird. Probably your feeling is totally different, because you receive this music in a totally different way. Probably you pay attention much more than me on the words and the text. Yeah.
But you know what? Generally, when I listen to music while I work on the pictures, I don't really get transported by the lyrics themselves, rather as the mood. I pay attention mostly to the music in general, what it creates in me. I try to get the feeling. Of course, Metallica was just one of the bands I used to listen to. I generally like to variate. I used to listen to Metallica as much as I listen to Radiohead, for instance. In general, I always been an electronic music passionate. In fact, during my teenage years, I also used to produce electronic music. Didn't really went well, but I had fun. And aside from that, I always try to connect as much as I can, at least in a personal way, photography and music. I don't really know if it's something that someone else could see or really notice, but after all, I'd like people when they see my picture just to get their vibe, get their way of seeing things. When you try to interpret something I did, I really appreciate that, because in a certain way you're just trying to understand my trip, let's say.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, it's like that. But now I'm really curious to ask you if there are some connection you got it in your life during this travel in photography. I mean, photography connected you to something, or someone touched you in a way deeply, or yeah, touched you in a particular way.
Well, of course, yes. I had the occasion to know many people in my way, many people, especially in my own town. I always try to take seriously the human connection rather than the virtual one. Basically, because I'm not really the kind of guy who really appreciate like getting in touch that virtually. I always prefer the face-to-face instead of talking with text.
Yeah, that's I'm totally clear. I mean, I like to spend time with
As much
people.
as difficult could be probably to me, because what you say at the very start, you actually said to me that you find me a little shy. It's absolutely true. And I'm not really that skilled socially wise, but I really like to create a connection with the people when I go out. I used to know many people while I was working. I made my contacts because of photography. Many friends are people who I work with, and I knew them because of photography, most of them. Yeah, so I always been someone who wants to put the human connection as a priority. It's still a really long way for me to, improve the social skills, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I read in your picture, what I read in your face, it's uh, it's quite probably easy, but I don't want to put less value in that. I mean, it's quite easy because it's what I do. I meet every day a lot of people. I talk with a lot of people, and it's my main work, decoration. So it's quite simple in these cases to talk on something is on surface, and it's going deep, and in the reading of the picture will be more difficult for sure. But what I can recognize from your work now, yeah, I'm pretty used to your work because during I was working on Make It Blue, I went on your profile many times to check with the right intention what I wanted to grab from your picture, and that's what I can see is probably, yeah, you are shy, but it's a part from you, I think, has to be discovered, and yeah, that doesn't mean that you are shy and stop it. That's it. No, you are shy because probably you are deeply emotional from some stuff that generally no one pay attention for, and this
Yeah.
is what make a unique in a way your frames that you catch some intimate moment, intimate frames of a stranger, but this stranger in a way they become part of your own vision, your own life. So there is a kind of energy totally different from just taking a frame or shoot from someone. It's a kind of insert that person as a character of your own story.
Yeah, absolutely. I always try to make the whole scene, which means that it could be buildings, people, props, and vehicles, everything you can find on the street. It's all part of the environment. I just think that you may probably be in the same place every single day, but you will never see the same exact scene every single day.
Totally, totally. I remember. Sorry if I stopped you. I remember.
No, absolutely. Go on.
Something I was probably 13 years old, probably less. I don't know. But I remember that I was suggesting myself starting to watch in the higher part of my village, and everything was turned in a totally different way from before. And I always suggested myself during the years to watching always in a different perspective to recognize the different kind of world I had around me and I still have around me.
Yeah. I mean, photography has helped me very, very much in seeing normal things in a totally different perspective. I personally think that the beauty of photography is like that. Even capturing simple moments can create by themselves a story. Actually, the beauty of photography is capturing many stories at the same time. I personally think that when you go around and see people, every people is a story. They are living their own story, and you try to catch their thing, their vibe. You're just trying to, what can I say? You just try to tell their story in that moment. It's something that it's actually quite complicated to properly describe it, but the moment when you do it, it's, you know, you just go with the flow. You just get caught by attention by what happens. It's just like merging yourself with the whole environment, with the whole.
Yeah, I totally got it. What you mean? I mean, you stole it in a way. Some words, I mean, not stole it, but use it. Some words I use often, and yeah, for sure, everyone has a story. Everyone has a story to be discovered, and in a way, we are the storyteller. We can say. I mean, in the end, we are the storyteller. And that's why I come to the point to also talk about these stories and this feeling we have and we tell, because I think what it's important to share in this world actually is more than just pictures. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I lost you for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I saw that. What I was saying was it's our, in a way, it's important that we share that there are not only images. What we show to the main, what we show to the other people, but there are stories, there are there are details to be recognized, and it's easy today to just don't see these details, don't see these stories, because we're overwhelmed of images, overwhelmed of good images, overwhelmed of stories from everywhere in the same time. And that's why I keep this 15 minutes. 15 minutes, they're not never 15 minutes. I don't know, I think I never did a real 15 minutes, but that's why I'm trying to share it in this way, because I think also in this other way, also only audio, because even sometimes to have a video, to watching a video take energy from us, but just listening in the background probably will be a nice way to get in touch with some inner emotion and some inner understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. What I also think is that the great thing is, as I say, being part of the environment. It's a photographer, a street photographer could be a kind of a living ghost. You try not to be as visible to other people, but you try to see everything that comes through your eyes. So I really like the feeling of being or feeling myself kind of absent to others, but to be able to see from distance or from close distance the stories, all the things that happens. I don't really know what to say, or better, I don't really know how to say properly, or how to describe it properly. But yeah, that's basically what street photography is about, in my opinion. You just try to get the stories, you try to get the vibes from them, from the other people. It's something quite magical in a certain way, because you don't really pay attention to that, or better, I don't often pay attention, as I'm kind of used to that. I mean, I'm doing street photography for several years now, and it's something that always kind of make me curious. It really made me curious about discovering new stories, discovering new things. Yeah,
It's like just saying, it's like
it's all
saying,
improvisation.
let's go out and see what happened.
Yeah, and in fact,
Yeah, and what happened today? What happened to the woman I have seen? I don't know, 1 week ago, for example.
yeah, absolutely. Also, the beauty of street photography is that everything, mostly, it's basically a product of pure improvisation. You don't really know what you're about to face. So the only thing you plan is how to go from a place to another, if you know the street, or just to get lost in the streets, but you don't really know what's going to happen. So that's probably the kind of a magic touch that street photography gives you. And yeah, it's always something you don't really want to get rid of.
Yeah, totally.
I'd probably be being too romantic about street photography.
I mean, I don't know. It's
But I really feel it that way, honestly.
yeah. I will never say that your picture street photography, because for me there are more. So it's a I cannot
Thanks.
understand really why you define yourself in a street photography, in this case, for example. And in a way, yeah, street photography doesn't define itself because you are in the street, but define itself for the way you shoot a picture in the street. So yeah, probably I will say you are much more a storyteller than a street photographer,
Thanks. Well, I do my best. Well, street photography, why I said street photography? Probably because after many years, maybe just seeing pictures and Instagram, I don't know, it felt like it's kind of conventional defining pictures, painting the streets, street
we
photography.
want to say it's the easiest way
Yeah, absolutely.
to
And
describe yourself.
I basically just fell in the trap of the convention. I used to define it street photography because I made picture in the streets, basically, and that's probably my mistake. The reality is that, I don't know, we always pay attention to the label you can give to a certain photography. Honestly, I just would like to consider photography as a part of a single sphere. How can I say?
In Berlin Explorer, we have in Berlin Explorer that's now is a BEEX. It's not anymore Berlin Explorer, but we have a philosophy, and philosophy is the only rules is there are no rules.
Absolutely agree.
And I created this slogan in a way because this is what I wanted to share with people and say we put too many rules in our life generally, and we think too much, but photography is not thinking, is doing.
Yeah.
And then there is the moment to think, all in the moment that we did a shoot, then we can think, but we cannot think during a shoot because we lost the shoot.
Absolutely. You used to get the shot while you're with the flow and you're not really paying attention of nothing but the thing you see directly from the camera. And then while you're editing, while you're alone in front of a screen, just seeing the images, you try to get the mood, you try to get the real vibe, or you give a vibe depending on what's in your mind, what are your tastes. That's exactly what me and almost every other photographer's street do.
Yeah,
I guess. And yeah, in fact, as I said before, that almost everything is made from pure improvisation. It's like jazz.
Yeah, I like this anecdote. So thank you a lot for this short talk, and
you're very welcome. Thank you very much
for this, and I hope to have others conversation. And it's really funny because probably who's listening to this podcast doesn't know, but in the end we speak the same mother language, but we are speaking in English, and this is also a funny way to communicate because we are changing totally the languages to be more understandable from others.
They gotta keep it international, isn't it?
Yeah. So thank you a lot.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for listening. And
every link will be always in description, as I always say it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.